Did this ex-pastor just disprove the entire resurrection? Let's review it together.
Things that Christians aren't ready to hear. With me, a former pastor, now turned atheist. There is no evidence for the resurrection. There's none.
So the very first thing that he says is that there is no evidence for the resurrection. And this is untrue, as there are many historical documents and manuscripts, including the Bible, that show that the resurrection did occur. Not only that, but over 500 people saw the resurrection with their own two eyes and were willing to die by it. Realistically, if someone came up to you and said that a person came back from the dead, that's pretty bogus and pretty crazy. But yet they were willing to die behind that. So if they were willing to die behind something so crazy like a man coming back from the dead, there has to be validity in that statement.
But let's look inside the Bible. The sources that Christians point to contradict each other. Who found the tomb? Mark says 3 women. Matthew says 2. John says only Mary.
Next up, he points out a contradiction, and this contradiction isn't really a contradiction, rather a perspective issue. Mark says that there was 3 women. Matthew says there was 2, and John says there was only Mary. But this is not a contradiction at all, rather just a perspective difference. John is pointing out what was important to him. Matthew is pointing out what was important to him, and Mark gave us the whole picture. This is not a contradiction, this is just a perspective. It's like if we witnessed a car crash and I said it was a black sedan and a person in a yellow shirt that hit a red Toyota, but then someone else said it was a red car and a black car. It's not a contradiction, we're just pointing out different details that add up.
When did they get there? At sunrise? At dawn? Or while it was still dark?
Then it says, when did it happen? Sunrise, sundown, or still dark. Sundown and still dark are the same thing. Sunrise is right at dawn. So what we could get at is that the resurrection most likely occurred during dawn to sunrise, which makes perfect sense. That's not a contradiction. That's just a difference in timing.
But what about the stone? It was already rolled away in Mark, but rolled away by an angel in Matthew.
Once again, this is not a contradiction, but a perspective difference. In Matthew, the stone was rolled away by an angel, but in Mark, the stone was already gone. This is simply timing and perspective difference. Mark is saying that the stone was rolled off already, and Matthew is saying how the stone got rolled off by an angel. It's a simple perspective difference. One is telling us the event, one is telling us what happened after.
And where did Jesus appear? Matthew says Galilee. Luke says Jerusalem. John says both.
Once again, it's just perspective. Jerusalem, Galilee, both. All 3 of them are true. He could have appeared in Jerusalem and then Galilee. One is just saying one location and the other is telling us another location, and John is telling us that he appeared in both. Just a perspective difference.
Side sources contradict themselves. That's not evidence. It's storytelling. And that's something that Christians aren't ready to hear.
And another thing before I end this video is that for a Bible scholar and ex-pastor, you are so biblically illiterate, I think it would benefit you if you open your Bible and read it again, because you just got cooked by a 16-year-old kid. Anyways, God bless, Jesus Christ is Lord, and know your facts before you come at Christianity.